what sets your film apart from other films?
Oh, mine's the best and the rest are shit. No, I'm playing.
He could have been so humble there and he chose not to. Hi, my name is Alexis Hope and I'm here today with Henry King to talk about his upcoming film, Donnie. Hey, Henry.
What's up, Alexis? How are you?
I'm good. So, tell us about Donnie and what inspired you to tell the story.
Donnie, I'd say it's a story about a Nigerian American kid who gets kicked out by his stepfather and finds boxing, as a way to deal with it.
Yeah, awesome. So why now? Like, what made you decide to tell this story now of all the times you could tell it?
Why now? I mean, I got bored, honestly.
Ain't it always that?
Yeah, I was bored of just sitting at home and waiting for an audition. So I felt like it was up to me to write and create a story that I could act in. And in that way, I guess it was selfish. But I knew I was also creating opportunities for my friends, peers to work with and just shine both in front and behind the camera. So
Love that. Love that. And for those who haven't seen it yet, Donnie is about, as he said, a Nigerian American who is getting into boxing. And you and I have had this conversation about how Creed really inspired you. So why?
why?
Why Creed?
Because it's Creed.
I mean, fair enough.
I mean, I think I was around 15 when the first Creed movie came out, and I was like, whoa, like, I want to do that. Like, I remember how it made me feel, just as a 15-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to do that. Like, I want to make somebody else feel that way. It's larger than life. Like it sucks you in. You're there. Like you feel like you're right there with the action. And I just knew, I wanted to make people entertain people. So yeah.
So why are stories like Donnie and like Creed important to be making?
Wow, that's a good question.
I know.
I'd say, I'd say there's something about passion. I think you could feel passion in every single frame. So for Donnie, I wanted to just showcase that journey as a young, Nigerian kid,
Right.
Who loves life and wants to, be a boxer. And yeah.
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 So for Donnie, you worked as the director, the writer, and the lead actor himself.
Yes, ma'am.
So what was it like balancing the responsibility of all those three roles on set?
Wow, it was tough, but I got lucky in that I had the right team around me. It's huge props to them. Like they took a lot of load off my chest or shoulders, I should say. It was just like relying on my team and knowing, okay, like my director of photography knows what he's doing, so I'm gonna let him, run, behind the camera. My AD, Anita, she was wonderful. You actually suggested her to me, so
I
she gets
suggested her to
props.
him. Yep.
And it was just like a team effort. It was a team sport. And that was how I did it, honestly. Like, it's weird when you're acting and directing and have to do a scene with you and then come out of it and direct you and myself at the same
Right.
time. But I truly enjoyed it, but it was also very, very painful.
Well, and speaking of crew, that segues kind of into the next question of like, what makes you pick the right people? Like, what draws you to crew members and is like, I want to work with you. I want to bring you up.
Passion. Passion. It's especially for projects like mine where it's not necessarily paid.
Yep.
They're volunteered.
Yep.
So you want people who see a vision and are passionate and want to be there. Like when you're working 12 hours, people get hungry and hangry. There's so many things happening. There's so many obstacles. So like you want people that really want to be there and are just as passionate about the story as you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what I'm really curious about is why did you want to be the director for your own story? Why was that so important?
Oh, you're coming in with a question.
I know.
Why was it important? Well, first of all, once I saw Creed 3 and Michael B. Jordan directed and acted, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna one-up you. I'm gonna act, write, direct, produce, no, I'm playing, all of it, everything, cast, direct. No, I felt like it was such an important story to me as a Nigerian and having that representation be, part of the story. So I knew it was kind of up to me to just make it happen. And the person who plays my mom is also Nigerian as well, so we could have that authentic dialogue. I just felt like it was up to me to make it happen. There was nobody else who I felt could have the same vision and passion for the story as I would.
Right.
So
what was casting like then?
Whew, it was hard. It was hard.
Not many Nigerians in Vancouver.
No. I'm still looking for them. So if you're Nigerian, hit me up. And you can act. Please know how to act. It was just like word of mouth. I kept asking questions like my mom. Hey, Mom, do you know any Nigerian actresses? Friends of friends. And just, auditioning and finding the right people. And I knew I didn't want to settle. So I was like, I'm not going to stop until I find the right people. And it's a gut feeling. There's something that you just know. Like once you see their tape, like, oh, like that.
Right.
I could see it right away. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, love that. So this isn't your first short. You have done a few before.
We don't talk
right?
about it.
Well, and then that makes me wonder, like, what did you take away from those previous shoots that you brought to Donnie? And yeah, just kind of a learning experience from before that you brought into now.
Preparation. That's a big thing. You can never be overprepared. Like and even if you think you are, there's always something that happens.
Right.
That makes you go, wow, like I got to pivot, I have to make things, make do with what I have.
Yeah.
And I'd say, preparation and rehearsals. Like if you, rehearse with your actors so they know what's happening, what's coming. And just being a team player and being open to whatever happens on the day and just, being able to adapt and keep going as things, come up.
Awesome. Yeah, so like what was something in this process that was maybe different from before and kind of was either memorable or challenging or kind of what were all kind of the ups and downs on being on set?
Everything.
Okay.
Everything. Most memorable, I'd say we shot a scene at my house. And my mom was there, my grandma was there. So we had a crew of about like 20 people.
Wow.
Just, waiting and working, so she could see like the magic. She was seeing, and like in the corner of my eye, I could see her like just watching and looking like proud and just nodding. I'm like, yeah, Mama, I did this.
Yeah, when the black parent is proud, you know it's proud. You
Exactly,
just know,
exactly, yeah.
Yep.
So it was just special to have them be a part of it, and she cooked too. She made us jollof rice. So, Mama, we love you. Yeah, it was just wonderful to be in that space and have her really appreciate what I do.
Yeah.
Or what we do. It's not just me.
Okay, what messages or emotions do you want your audience to take away from seeing Donnie?
Wow. I want people to be entertained, of course, please be. But I want them to be inspired. I know it's cliche, but I want people to feel less alone.
Yeah.
And know that they could do anything they put their minds to. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you have plans, I'm assuming, for the film.
I do.
What are they?
All the awards, all the
All the
accolades,
awards. There we go.
Oscars. No, I can't do an Emmy because it's not a TV show. See?
It could be.
It could be.
It could be.
We could make it happen. But yeah, I want to put this through film festivals and just get the right eyes on it. Hopefully it opens doors for me and the film.
Right.
And to create the right relationships to turn it into a feature film, hopefully, and just have people see it. I think it's a good film, and for me, I made sure I was trying to make sure my heart was in the right place.
Right.
So I was making the story personal, but also like universal.
Right.
If that makes any sense. So I think people would connect with the story.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I'd like to move into kind of you as a filmmaker.
Okay.
So tell us about what your journey has been and what drew you to filmmaking, acting, directing, writing, kind of all the things.
All the things. I kind of fell into acting by accident. I was going to be a doctor. Shout out to my Nigerian pops. Yeah, I was going to be a doctor, and then I moved to Canada in 2018.
Yeah.
And I just found acting. It just kind of happened, and one thing led to another. I got an agent, and it's just been, kind of the journey ever since. It's been the natural progression of going, okay, I know I want to be an actor. I love acting, but I also want to get my hands dirty. I want to be a part of the behind the camera, directing, producing, like being a part of the process. Like as actors, I only have to worry about my lines and your lines and making sure it's good. Yeah. But as a director, you see the whole piece. You're like, okay, like what's sound gonna be? What's lighting gonna be? What's the mood? What's the vision? Like how do we want the entire piece to feel? So, and also I get to pick my favorite takes.
Lucky.
Yeah, it's purely vain. Yeah.
Okay, just jumping back, because I forgot to ask this, but I wrote the question, I said, this is good, this is a good question. What sets your film apart from other films?
Oh, mine's the best and the rest are shit. No, I'm playing.
He could have been so humble there and he chose not to. Okay.
What sets my film apart? I'd say the passion. People like came together to make this happen. Like I sent the scripts to my DP, and he was like, "Yeah, I want to shoot it right away." Like no questions asked. I just felt like I felt carried the entire time because you know you're carrying so much on your shoulders. You're worrying about producing and acting and writing. You're doing all these things at the same time. But it felt like I was in the right hands. So people came through and supported and donated, and just gave me words of affirmation that I was doing the right thing. So you could feel the passion in every single frame of the film.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, then what sets you apart as a filmmaker then from other people?
You know what? I think you should ask me that in the next 3 months because
I will.
I think, yeah, I'm still new to this. I'm still
Yeah.
learning as I go. I'm a sponge. But for me, I would say it's just the tenacity and knowing that, I don't have to know everything. I just have to start and ask questions along the way and figure it out. It's the confidence of knowing that, oh, you know what? Like, I might not be technically gifted. I might not know how to, handle the camera or the lighting, but I do know how to tell a story, and I can find the right people who can help me along the way.
And I love that. I think that's such an important, like even if you are new to it, what sets you apart as a filmmaker is being you.
Right.
Your uniqueness.
Exactly.
Because then that's kind of like, no other filmmakers
Yeah,
can make
you
the
can't
decisions you
replicate
do,
it, right?
right?
It's-
They don't
yeah.
see the visions you see, and so I think there's definitely a lot of focus on people being like, it's got to be, you got to have the technical background, and I said, like, I'm a filmmaker too.
She is. She really is.
I know nothing, and I'm learning as well, but what sets me apart is I'm not going to tell the same story you are, and I think that's so important.
Exactly.
So who are some of your biggest influences writing and directing?
Writing. Ooh, wow. My writing is mostly instinctual.
Okay.
I was just born with it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but I think for me, writing is the easier part of the whole process because once I get in the zone, I could write. I could sit down and just write for an hour or hours on end. Directing, I'd say definitely Michael B. with Creed. I watched it over and over again. Denzel Washington as well, of course, naturally. The GOAT.
It's the GOAT, yes.
And Christopher Nolan.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not there yet. I'm not saying I'm anywhere close to where
Henry
he
King
is.
has announced that he is Christopher Nolan, just so everybody knows.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to work with him. Please, if you're seeing this, I love you. Let's work together. But yeah, just watching all those movies and taking inspiration from storytellers who love what they do.
Well, what are some things that you do to make yourself a better writer or director?
Better writer, you just keep writing. It sounds basic, but you keep writing and refining. Your first draft is probably going to be bad, and that's okay, but you just keep doing it. And let it cook, let it sit. It's okay, I can write your first draft, look at it, it's okay, it's good, and then, go away for a little bit, come back again with fresh eyes. Yeah, I think you just have to keep doing it. Practice makes perfect, as they say.
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, just keep on going.
Awesome. So now this question: does filmmaking make you a better actor, and vice versa?
Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, 1,000%. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It just makes you. I feel like actors can be a bit selfish, and rightfully so. You're taking in a script and trying to make it your own and trying to make it like you've lived that life, So you do have to kind of block out things and just to kind of focus on the acting and your performance, trying to be as truthful as possible. But when you start to make it and when you start to write and when you start to produce, when you start to be behind the camera more, you have more of an awareness of what they're looking for. You go, okay, I know why we're doing this setup, and you kind of read their minds almost.
Yeah.
So I think absolutely yes.
Yeah.
And then there's also less pressure because I know, if I don't get it in take one, I'll get it in take two, right? There's that dance of knowing, okay,
For sure.
you can always cut around things.
Yeah. I would even add my little 2 cents. Set etiquette. When you are behind the camera, your appreciation for everything that happens in
Oh,
front of the
yeah.
camera and vice versa, right? It changes, and you have a whole
Absolutely.
other respect for, like, I think that's such an important thing, cast and crew, is to respect one another and to be there.
For
But
sure.
you can't really understand someone else unless you've been in their shoes.
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
so to put yourself in that, I think is so, I think everyone should work kind of any part of set.
Well, no,
I've
for
worked
sure.
grip too, so it's like, yes, do
Like
it.
it all feeds into each other. Like knowing, oh, like even the casting director, like if you don't have the right cast, you have no film. You know, like
Yeah.
there's nothing. You're not doing anything.
Love, yeah.
So like every single department is very important.
Yeah. Okay, I love this discussion.
Yeah.
What makes a great film? Budget aside, what are some aspects of film that are just makes it good? Great, worth watching.
Worth watching. I'd say when the filmmaker knows what they want to say or discuss or portray in the film. Like there's something about just knowing, and I think it was Quentin Tarantino who says this. He says, "I make the films for myself."
Right.
And then that way I know there's someone out there who can connect and relate and watch it. So even with Donnie, I was, okay, like this film, I'm making something that I want to see in theaters. Because when have you ever seen like a boxer who's Nigerian and kind of going through what my character goes through, right? There isn't any of that out there right now.
Right.
So yeah, I make it for me, and I try to make it as personal as possible. And then I know someone somewhere somehow will connect to that story.
Well, and with that, I think you just answered my next question of like, what stories do you want to tell in the future? And it sounds like it's very personable things, but stories that aren't told necessarily as much from a Nigerian kid's kind of perspective.
1000%. Yeah, we're tired of the Wakandan accents. No shade.
No shade.
But yeah, just things that feel like they're impactful, that make a difference, that inspire people. Because as a kid, I remember going to movies and leaving better than when I walked in, or feeling, oh wow, like I just watched something that is special. Yeah. So, and I knew very early on that I wanted to do the same for other people.
Right. Yeah. What do you think about that was very like life-changing, I guess? Was it just maybe seeing yourself in that character and like a representation of some sort?
Right.
What was that?
Yeah, I think, and a specific example would be when I watched Black Panther for the first time. Oh my God, I was like, wow, like this, like I don't cry very often, but I think I cried in the theater, because at that point something unlocked in my brain to where I could be this, like I'm Black and I'm royalty, like I could be perceived as much bigger than my current life or current lifestyle. So yeah,
What
I don't know if I answered your question, but
no, it did. What a
Yeah.
statement. During Black History Month as well.
Yeah, I know.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that. Love that. What's your creative process, I guess? Like, is there anything maybe habitual that you do when you're developing a story?
Wow.
Or even acting, I guess, like a warm-up or something to get yourself into the body of maybe Donnie or other characters.
Yeah, it's a lot of like meditating, and just like instilling the discipline to just keep doing it. It's like, okay, I know it's not quite there yet. Let's refine. Let's find out. Get feedback from people. Like I think I sent you the script. Like you were like one of the first people to read the script. Just getting that feedback to know, okay, do I have something here? Is this kind of wishy-washy? And like the more time you give to something, the better it gets. It's like an exchange. That's for writing, and for acting. I just try to be as authentic as possible. Like when I'm in a scene, like I want to make sure every single line I'm uttering like feels true to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. You had mentioned earlier kind of, you made this film because why wait for an opportunity when you can create one for yourself? So what's been your experience with the Vancouver indie scene then of like making those opportunities for yourself?
I mean, I think now it's starting to be more like normal to make your own work. I'll shout out to my coach, Shane Savage. He's a huge proponent for that. He's like, make your own work. Don't wait for anybody to send you an audition. Like do theater, do plays, write scripts, like, make things happen. Stop sitting and waiting for somebody to be like, hey, act. And as an actor, there's something about wanting to be chosen that irks my soul. It's like, please love me, choose me, I'm good enough.
Right.
It's like, no, you can sit down and take that power back and go, okay, like I know I'm an actor and I want to be an actor, I'm sure of it. So I could write or ask my friends to write, who know how to, just like collaborate with your peers and make things happen and learn from it and grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, and like that's an exciting thing about film, is that it's always changing. And what are some things, I guess, that you're excited about for the potential of indie filmmaking in Vancouver, since more people are making their own things?
Potential, I think the sky's the limit.
Okay.
I think we can go as far as possible. Like now, it's exciting knowing that people are taking their power back and taking control of their careers. Like, okay, like I will go out there and make things happen no matter what. We're actors, we're creators. You actors act,
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so I'm very excited. Hoping to keep working with people who like I love and care about, and I aspire to be like. There's so much talent here in Vancouver. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, well, I will start wrapping this up with a few questions, just to close things off.
All right.
But what are some ways that people can support you and the film, maybe moving forward?
Give me all your money.
He's so serious.
No, I'm not kidding. Just watch the film, share it if you like it, and let's get this thing made on a much bigger level. I'm hoping to turn it into a feature film, like I said, maybe have it on a platform where people can watch online in their homes and just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because we made it with love, so yeah, I think that's the best way. And, give me feedback.
Yeah.
I want to know if it was good. I want to know if it was bad. I want to know if it was mediocre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, with it being made with love, there's always, your heart's always going to be in it, but people's opinions on it, I think, matter really. For
sure, yeah.
Really for you in this process. So, why is supporting indie filmmakers important?
Wow, that is the question.
Is this the question?
Because it's a hard business, and people who venture into this business, especially as an indie filmmaker, are incredibly brave and courageous. So we want to reward that. We want to support them and go, okay, like keep making that. Because it takes a lot out of you to make something.
Yeah.
Anything, no matter what the budget is, it's hard to make a film. Yeah. So I think it's very important because if we support them, then we're creating the next Michael B. Jordans and the next Christopher Nolans, and it's like we're trying to push that. So very important.
So with that, what's a bit of advice that you'd give filmmakers in general, but maybe more so people who are interested in making their own short film for the first time?
I'd say just do it. Just do it. You can sit and think and plan and plot, but at the end of the day, like you're gonna make mistakes and that's okay. So do it, have fun with it, and just enjoy the process.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. And I think we'll end with, when can we expect to see Donnie?
You can expect to see Donnie in April.
April?
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
You did.
April.
Yeah,
if it's not in April, somebody contact him.
Yes, please call me and let me know.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for answering all these questions today, and we are excited for everything that you have coming up for you.
I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right.